In this episode of the podcast, we're going to reveal three health boosters, activities that you should do this year before the year is out. Stick around. We're going to reveal them on the flip side of the intro credit.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast. Sometimes you have glitches, sometimes you're left in stitches. Great to have you here, everybody.
I have no idea what happened just then.
It's all right. It happened,
and
it is what it is. Sometimes we get technical errors. It's okay. Folks, if you're here and this is your first time, we're glad that you're with us. If you've listened to us a few times, we're glad that you've come back. But this is opportunities for us to have conversations with our CFE coaches, talk occasionally with our CFE CrossFit Edwardsville community, and then occasionally talk with Glen Carbon Edwardsville leaders or business owners, things like that, so we can learn a little bit from them. But I am your co-host, Dallas Hamston. You know me, and you love me, I hope, but I know you love this guy, Coach G Scale. What's up, brother?
Hey, guys. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, I'm actually going to give you guys the back page of my fitness goals for 2022, like the last few bullet points I still need to hit. I'm excited to share it on the podcast here.
All right. So this is 3 health activities that you should do this year. I do have to say, G, I gave you this like sweet radio entrance, and then all you did when you're like, what's up? You were so relaxed compared to how I teed it up. If this was pickleball, I've never played it, but you would have dropped that. I think you would have.
I'm maybe a little off my game today.
No, you're doing great. For those of you watching the video version, G does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on the side of CrossFit, and he is sporting a shiner today. He took an elbow or something this week in training.
Or an accidental headbutt or something. Yeah. Actually, this side was lit up for like 9 days straight. I think I didn't see you. Yeah. And then I don't even know. Like most of the time people say like, what happened, man? I don't know. I started grappling. I started fighting with somebody. And the next thing I knew, bam, there it is. That's got some color to it right there.
It does. Yeah, no, it looks good for those of you watching the video version. So today, everybody, we are talking about 3 health activities you should do this year. We only have a little bit of time left before the end of 2022. So, G, as you said, there's kind of a back of the paper, 3 things still on your checklist for 22 here. Talk us through these 3 things, man. What's going on in your brain today?
So there are a few things that I think fall people's radar, or maybe not even on people's radar, that are really good ideas to do as a way of assessing your health picture or boosting your health picture. And the first one is doing regular blood work. And I'm talking like every 3 months, every 6 months, because I actually have a saying that I use quite a bit, which is if you check the oil in your car more often than you check your blood work, your priorities are out of whack. That's priorities problem, right? But there are certain pieces of your health picture that you don't know unless you look under the hood and actually have blood work done to check your thyroid metrics, your testosterone metrics, your other hormone metrics, your red blood cells, your white blood cells, your iron levels, things like that. You will learn a lot more about your true health picture by doing regular blood work. And I try to do mine every 3 to 6 months. I don't know if you've ever discussed this on the podcast, but I think this is a really, really important diagnostic for our audience to do, because it'll allow you an early detection system to identify, do you have a cholesterol problem? Do you have an iron problem? Are you deficient here? Is your body underperforming here? But knowing these things can be really empowering. Like for me, for example, I have a disastrous health, like family health history. The obesity, hypertension, diabetes, glaucoma, like it's a mess, right? And I've been able to beat, through healthy eating, through exercise, all the obvious stuff we talk about in this podcast here, I've been able to beat most of these things. From the hypertension, I actually have low blood pressure. I've been able to beat the obesity, but I'm still trying to tweak the numbers to get my cholesterol. My HDL and my LDL are both too high. trying to get those numbers back into range. Like, I think like people like looking at us CrossFitters living our healthy lifestyle, you don't necessarily see that sort of thing. You don't necessarily see hypercholesterolemia, but I know it because I have done the blood work, and I know it's something I need to keep working on, keep tweaking my diet to see if I can get those numbers into range. But this allows me an early detection system so that I can take action thoughtfully and intelligently to keep trouble at bay. It also lets me know the exercise styles that I do, how does it impact my testosterone levels or the stress level that I have in my life, the sleep that I get or don't get, all the stuff that I track on my Whoop strap, all those things, how are they playing into my under the hood health picture?
I think that's a great first thing to consider as we're going through this list. You're absolutely right. It's just another metric of success.
It could be a few of them. It could be a few of them.
Right. It could be metric. It's a dashboard. It gives you more metrics and things on your dashboard. I mean, there comes a point, especially people newer to the CrossFit community, you get a ton of PRs and you get a bunch of high new numbers and everything in that first like 6 months. And so then after that, it's these small little incremental tweaks and adjustments. And every now and again, you get this big, like earth shattering, oh my gosh, I just got a new PR in a deadlift, or I finally cleaned way more, 20% more or whatever. It's like you occasionally get those breakthroughs, but monitoring the small little incremental fixes and the small little incremental tweaks is so key. And this is just another one of those monitoring systems.
Well, two, like I had through doing regular blood work when I was 25 years old, I identified that I had low free testosterone, but I feel really good and I don't feel like it's ever held me back. So I've also been able to identify, okay, what are some health qualities that are inherent to me just being me that don't slow me down, that don't hold me back? Yeah. And I feel very fortunate that my energy is great. I'm sufficiently strong in the gym. I don't feel like in terms of life, like I'm lacking energy or vigor or vitality in any way.
Yeah.
By doing all of the exercise, the nutrition, the sleep, the stress management, by doing all of those things well, I've been able to avoid the need for testosterone replacement therapy or therapeutic, what do they call those things, like therapeutic use exemptions or whatever in sport. I've been able to avoid the need for any of that. It probably saves me a lot of cash in terms of just like the out-of-pocket health picture. But if this is something that you are interested in doing and you've never gone down this path before, there are a few routes that you can take to get blood work, just in case it's not obvious to the audience. So the chiropractor that I go to has, like, he can write a requisition form for me and sends it over to LabCorp, and I go there and I get my blood work done there. I think if you have a physician, they'd be able to do the same, write a requisition form, basically an order for blood work, and send it to your local blood draw agency. LabCorp might be one, and then have it done that way. And then I believe there are also places you can go online to order specific blood work tests from some physician in somewheresville. They ship it to you, and you can print it and take it to your local blood draw agency and have them draw your blood. They'll do the analyses on your blood and send you a report that actually lists out for all these different things, thyroid numbers, testosterone numbers, iron levels, white blood cells, whatever, cholesterol. Are your numbers high, low, or within range? And then you can go over those numbers with your physician or whoever your primary care is and have them interpret those numbers for you so you can actually know what it all means.
That's great. That's a fun one to think about is number one. So what, G, for you is number two here that you would say something people have to do this year?
Yeah, this is on my to-do list for the rest of the year is doing an allergy panel. And what I mean by that is going to actual allergists and having them scan you for potential allergies to things. This is one thing that my wife did a couple of years ago.
You're going to find out you're allergic to like celery or some random thing.
Well, some of it will be like, wow, really? I promise there will be surprises, things you'll learn about yourself you had never had any idea about. And then you'll also probably get some validation to suspicions you had about yourself for a while. Like, I've always suspected that when I eat this, I don't feel quite right. this can give you a more direct line of connection between the foods that you eat
Yep.
and how you feel. You may find out you have allergies that have been affecting you that you never knew about.
Yeah.
When we do our nutrition coaching, oftentimes recommend that people stay away from certain things like glutens or dairy, lactose or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they take those things out of their diet, and then if they reintroduce it 30 days later, they'll have a clean slate to their body and they'll learn how those things actually affect them, and they'll get congestion or they'll get stomach irritation, bloating, and you'll realize, holy crap, I'm having an adverse reaction to this thing. That's like a 30-day window.
Yeah.
You can learn in like a space of like 2 days what your allergies are. So like my wife, for example, is allergic to a host of different fruits, including bananas and star fruit,
Mm-hmm.
and she is allergic to cashews. And these are healthy foods that we might recommend that she do eat.
Right.
But knowing these things that she is indeed allergic to them, we can start to pinpoint, okay, which of the foods that she's been eating all these years might be contributing to some of the health challenges that she's had, or like which foods are healthy foods, but she should avoid them because they will actually sabotage her energy or sabotage her sense of well-being, sabotage her vitality or whatever it is. And you won't know that without having a professional allergist actually test you for things.
That's a good one. I have a very funny story about that, which I don't know if we've got time. I'll share it here real fast. So a friend of ours, she had an allergy panel done up, and the allergist said to her, "Well, it shows you're like deathly allergic to avocados." And the young woman said, "That can't be true. I eat guacamole almost every like Thursday." And the doctor said, "Well, let me ask you this: are you eating that at a Mexican restaurant with margaritas?" And the young woman said, "Well, yeah, it's like Thursday night guac and margs with some friends." And the allergist said, "Is the back of your throat scratchy while you're eating that guac?" And she goes, "Yeah, it is." And he goes, "Yeah, the tequila and the margaritas is keeping the main allergy at bay." He said, "Try eating it one time without tequila around you."
Wow.
And so she realized she was having scratchiness every time she ate it, but there was something working as a suppressant on the food allergy of avocado. So just random.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Totally crazy. And she was like, "That's why it always itches." Okay, that makes sense. So that's a good one. So number one, everybody do regular blood work. Number two, you got to do these allergy panels. And then G, you've got a third one here for us of an activity, health-related activity that you think we should do this year.
Yeah, and that is strive to get an extra 30 minutes of sleep each night. And this is a pet project of mine, a passion of mine. When I was in grad school, I did a lot of projects that circled around the impact of sleep on motor learning and how it impacts our performance across a variety of metrics. And just generally speaking, a recommendation for most people is you need to be getting at least 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep every single night. But there's a measurable, tangible, meaningful change in your cognitive and your physical performance with every increase in 30 minutes, every 30-minute jump of sleep that you get.
Yeah.
In fact, like there are many people going about their everyday business right now that are going by on 4.5, 5 hours of sleep, and they're like, I function just fine.
Yep.
Chances are you're not functioning just fine. You're the alcoholic in the bar stumbling around, says, yeah, I'm good to drive.
Right.
And I use this analogy quite intentionally, that there are studies doing driving simulations of people that are actually intoxicated and people that are actually underslept. They get 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep a night. And the driving performance between somebody who is alcohol impaired and somebody who is underslept is indistinguishable. If you're looking at the data, you cannot tell which is which. It's the same thing. You're similarly impaired. And that could be like a very frightening thought for a lot of people. I think, Dallas, you probably know that whenever the daylight savings time change happens and people lose an hour of sleep going from sunlight into morning, the incidence of traffic accidents spikes dramatically and unmistakably. And like a host of other bad things happen also because people go on an hour less sleep. That's just 1 hour less sleep on one night of the week.
Yep.
And like I think it's it's easy to underestimate the sheer impact that being underslept actually has on your cognitive performance, your reaction times, your ability to make good judgments.
Yep.
The rabbit hole on this is very, very deep. We know beyond a shadow of a scientific doubt that your eating patterns are directly impacted by whether you have gotten sufficient sleep or insufficient sleep, because your body will actually send erroneous signals about satiety or not satiated or not satiated based on, are you well slept enough? Your body will actually get the signals wrong. And so you might be getting signals from your body, still hungry, keep eating when you've actually had all the nourishment you need, just because your body isn't processing the data correctly. And I was like, nobody wants to be at risk of an auto accident, right? But the flip side of this coin is that when you do get more sleep, everything that you learn during the day is better consolidated, and your learning is faster. Your mental performance is faster. Your ability to perform at your highest level in the gym, at your job, be more patient, more stress tolerant, be less reactive or short-tempered with your kids. All of these things are improved by getting that extra 30 minutes of sleep. Sleep is like one thing that affects everything, and getting an extra 30 minutes of sleep at night might be a performance enhancing drug for your body, and the best one possible. And I think that everybody should be seeking to get that extra sleep every night.
Love it. I can feel the difference when I get 30 minutes less than normal.
Yeah.
So imagine adding 30 minutes more. That ideal for sure. And things, everybody, like making sure you potentially have blue light lenses if you're going to be on a screen late into the evening, or that you begin to bring the lights down in the house. Not everything's super bright right before bed. Things that actually get the body's natural melatonin starting to generate and things like that, 1.5 hours, 2 hours before you go to bed. That's going to increase the purity of that sleep too as you increase it. So that's a great hit list there. So number one, everybody, do some regular blood work. Number two, look at maybe going to get an allergy panel done. And then number three here, focus on maybe getting it's getting darker earlier. So turn down the rest of the lights and go to sleep 30 minutes earlier and see if you can't feel a marked improvement on that. And all three of these things, really intriguing, G, here at the end. All three of them have to do with minor adjustments and having awareness as to the effect of them.
Knowledge is power. Absolutely.
Yeah, think of it, everybody, like a science experiment on you. I'm just going to tweak this, do that, see that, and I'm going to monitor the changes and see if the variables help change you in a positive direction. Great little chat here, G. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you for joining me, Dallas. And thank you to all of our audience as well for joining us on the podcast. Dallas, if they want to learn more, what can they do?
Well, first you can go on Google and you can type in CrossFit Edwardsville. You can see hundreds of 5-star positive reviews. You can also connect with us on all the socials at CrossFit Edwardsville, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are there for you. And at the end of the day, where we really want you to land, though, is our website, CrossFitEdwardsville.com. And you will see a little button on there at the very top of the page that says book a no sweat conversation. We'd love to have a conversation with you of, hey, where are you right now? Where do you want to be? How do you want to look better, feel better, and perform better? And again, that's the book a no sweat conversation at CrossFit Edwardsville, and connect with us on socials. That's it. G, thank you again. And I can't wait for our next conversation, but this is going to be fun, everybody. Have a great day. And G, sing us off.
Guys, have yourselves a championship day, a beautiful and blessed day, and we'll see you in the next episode.